You know, while you meet everyone in your 20s, people will tell you that 20s are like the most fun, vibrant years of your life.
But here I am going to give you a bitter taste of a reality and tell you how 20s are not as fun as it may sound. In fact, in actuality, it's all about experimenting with your career, your friendships, your relationships, your personal growth while building an identity of your own.
Hi everyone, I'm Ekta. I'm a mental health professional and a social media influencer past 2 years. And today let's decode 20s. I know a lot of people have a different connotation when it comes to 20s, right? But I heard someone say that 20s is the time when you discover your passion, 30s is when you master that passion, and 40s is when you cash it out. Unfortunately, no one told me this. I was about 15 years old when I got done with my board examination, and I remember someone asking me, so what do you plan to do now? And as scared as any kid would be, I was traumatized by this question every time someone would ask me this question. And here's a caveat for all of you, here's a warning. That if you're in your 20s or you're going to approach your 20s, know that people will ask you this question left, right and center. Just the way people throw tomatoes at Tomatino festival, एक यहाँ से आएगा, दूसरा वहाँ से आएगा. And you're like, oh, where did this come from? I didn't see that coming. Everyone you meet will ask you this question. But of course, this damsel in distress didn't know what to do, so she ended up taking commerce. Now, despite knowing that I don't have, my mathematics is not a very strongest suit, well, those 2 initial years of my high school were absolutely jarring. They were stressful for me. And I still have a little tough relationship with numbers. I don't know, how do you guys do this girl math and boy math? I have no idea. I still don't understand what this whole math is about. But having said that, as time passed, I learned to sail through gusto winds and with the stormy waves, and by that time my 20s arrived, where I got done with my graduation in psychology, and it was the time when I had to make this one big decision in my life. That is what to do next. And a lot of times people put us in, on this gas burner, asking us to make this one big decision in a very short span of time. It's like you have to make this decision right now, especially, when it comes to your specialty. You have to make this one big decision because this big decision is going to help you navigate your life. It's going to give the direction to your life. It's going to give the theme to your life. And it's in that moment we feel like a terminal illness patient. Jisko bola jata, you just have 1 month to live. With all due respect to terminal illness, I know what it means to lose a family member to terminal illness. About 6 years ago, I lost my grandmother to cancer. So of course, I went ahead and I did my post-graduation in counseling psychology. But here's something you need to know. After making that one big decision, did that guarantee that my life was sorted? Did that mean that I'm certain about my life? Did that mean that I'm having all together? No. I actually passed out of college, armed with a post-graduation degree. But little did I know that the life and the life's adventure was about to begin. And it's called wilderness of uncertainty. Unfortunately, no one tells you this, that your 20s is a time when in every nook and corner of your life, you will experience unexpected bumps. No one tells you that every single day will present a new challenge to you, which will demand a new level, a new you. And no one tells you this. And you know what irks me the most? That people expect you to be perfect in all spheres of your life. My question is how? With those twists and turns in your career path, while you're trying to explore your own self, who are you as a person, with that soaring highs and lows of your relationship, with this constant chase of happiness, and of course, let's not forget the job application that's been sent in void, just the way Rohit from Koi Mil Gaya was sending messages to Jadoo thinking one day he'll reach out to him. That's how we keep sending these job applications out there, in void. And it surprises me that no one tells you that life, especially in your 20s, it's all about accepting and embracing the certainty in its uncertainty. Even after doing my post-graduation, of course I kept running from places to places, whether it was clinics, schools, corporates, and social media influencer past 2 years. And I remember, even then, I was doubting myself. It was in, during my 20s, I kept asking myself that, am I good enough or no? Whether I'll be able to make it or no? Whether I figured it out or no? And let's be honest. We all have been through this, been there, done that. After 10th, we felt that at least life's going to be a bit easy. After 12th, we felt at least now I'll get some hold on my life. After graduation, you feel like, I think life's going to be a bit sorted now. Raise your hand if you've ever felt that. All of us have been through this. But it was only after my post-graduation I learned that you'll never be able to figure it out. And you know what the secret and the magic is? To learn to sail through that. To learn to embrace the certainty in its own uncertainty, which also means that the moment when you accept, like radically accept, that life is an ongoing journey and not a destination, you'll be more at peace. Because no matter if you are completely on this journey of wanting to reach this level 1, there will come a time you want to go to level 2, and then level 3, and level 4. And it's an ongoing process. And in this entire process, if you keep asking yourself, am I good enough? Will I be able to make it big or no? You will always be unhappy in this entire process. But the moment when you realize, okay, it's a journey. Since I got done with this, let me try and figure it out and let me go to the next level. But while doing so, let me embrace what comes. Let me embrace that life's going to be like this. Life is going to be uncertain. Life will present a new challenge. But you know what? How you were a year ago, you're a better version of it today. Never forget that. So of course, as Roger Crawford once said, that challenges in life is inevitable, but being defeated is optional. So of course I kept telling myself, and despite doubting my own capability, I remember this was a couple of years back when I started my social media journey. I remember there was this 16-year-old girl who once DM'd me, messaged me saying that, I really want to thank you because this morning I was about to give up on my life and I didn't because I saw your video and it inspired me to change my life. It's a huge thing, right? When you can change someone's course of life, when you can give direction to someone's life. Despite going through that DM, I still kept questioning my ability. And then I learned that I have to learn to embrace it. I have to learn to know that this is the purpose. So no matter how tumultuous your life is right now, no matter what stage of your life you are right now, I want you to remember these 5 things. Number 1, how you train your brain right now really matters and sets the tone for the rest of your life. Let's accept the fact that your 20s are your defining decades. It's when you will meet the love of your life, as much as we want to deny it, but we do. You'll meet the love of your life. You'll also build a sustainable life, your career. It's also the time when you'll know yourself, you'll explore your best potential. And while doing all of that, you'll make mistakes. And while making mistakes, you will learn, fail, fall, and most importantly, you will become a better version. I want you to develop a growth mindset. When I say growth mindset, which also means that a lot of times we question our ability that am I good enough or no. And in that moment, whenever you face any problem in your life, ask yourself, okay, I'm facing this problem right now, but what can I do about it? That's growth mindset. And not mull over the problem saying, oh, I'm going through this.
And which is why I want you to develop this mindset, which is called bounce back ability. You know what bounce back ability is? That there comes a time when we are having, we're doing everything right, but there comes a time when our momentum breaks.
And suddenly you feel you've gone in minus. But the moment when you feel you've gone in minus or you've lost the whole track or you got derailed from your journey, the moment you feel you've gone derailed, bounce back to it and get going.
And I want you to develop this, which also means that when you feel stuck in your life, ask yourself this one big question. What is the next right thing to do? And do that. Even right now, if you're stuck right now, ask yourself, okay, what's the next right thing? Sometimes doing the next right thing is as simple as not doing the next wrong thing.
Which takes me to point number 2, reality versus imagination.
We live in such a fanciful world where we dream big, we do less. And I have a question for all of you right here. Why is it that despite having all the resources available to us today,
that evolution, people in your 20s are suffering the most? Why?
Because research says that people are so busy being engrossed in their devices, comparing themselves to 50 odd people every single day, not knowing that what you see is someone's good parts of their life. What you see is just the highlights. And you don't see what exactly is going on in their life. So every time you open your social media, and this is what all of us are doing. We don't feel good, we go to social media.
We feel good, we go to social media. I'm getting bored, let me go to social media. I am not feeling inspired, let me go to social media. Oh, I have so much work to do and I'm procrastinating, let me go to social media. It's become a go-to place. And we don't sit with ourselves. And when we constantly dip ourselves in our devices, we compare ourselves to 50 odd people, we forget that we have something that someone else doesn't have it. And when you think that you're stuck or there is some problem in your head right now, know that the solution is right there.
So every time you feel that you've compared yourself, or maybe you've come to this stage where you have some problem or you're facing some difficulty, ask yourself, okay, I am facing this, but is this a real problem, or is this my imagination? Sometimes we make up the problems. If you see your friends speaking with each other, you're like, I think maybe they're bitching about me. You never know, maybe it's just an assumption of yours. Maybe you see your parents just hushing something, you're like, I think there's something going on about me. I think the topic of charcha is me only.
So sometimes the problems are mostly in our head and not in reality. So every time you feel like that, ask yourself whether it's a real problem or it's a matter of imagination. And remember that action is the antidote to problems. Action could be clarifying those, getting off your assumptions, all of this. And while doing so, make sure to be kind to yourself. Not every single day you're going to operate on 100. Some days you'll operate on 70, 50, 20, 10. Again, you'll go back to 80. Because a lot of times, today I see youth, they're literally questioning themselves that why can't I be at 100 always? Fine, there are days when you can't be. You're just going through a breakup and you don't know how to present your best self in your career right now. Embrace it. We just sit with your emotion and feel what exactly is happening and try to resolve that. Instead of just putting it under the carpet. And all of us are doing that. Because remember, life is too short to be at war with your own self. That takes me to point number 3.
Make sure to find your voice. There are going to be a lot of opinions and gyan out there talking about how you should do and what you should do in your 20s. But while you try to extract the best from everything, don't forget to lose your identity, because sometimes we change, we completely restructure ourselves because my parents want me to do this, because my friends want me to behave like this, because my loved one wants me to become this version.
Don't let go of who you are at the core, no matter what someone else is saying.
Don't forget your identity. So every time you feel that someone else is doing better in their life and question yourself, in that process, sit, take a pause, reflect, and ask yourself, what are my strengths?
And focus on your strengths, because when you strengthen your strengths is when you weaken your weaknesses. That's how you can weaken your weaknesses. That takes me to point number 4, the most important, for relatable to all of you here right now. That get into a relationship for right reasons. Not to fill the void, not to feel validated by someone, not because you're feeling lonely, not because all your friends are going in a relationship. Okay, let's accept the fact that it's a very sensitive stage. Our 20s are such a sensitive time when you'll feel attracted to someone, when you're wanting to be with someone. But don't do so for wrong reasons, do so for right reasons. When you find someone who's aligned with you, who helps you grow, right? Know yourself, where you're coming from, and only if that person is aligned with you, be with that person, not to fill that void. Not because my friend right now is, having a partner and now I'm feeling lonely. Now what to do? Let me also find a partner. Make sure you find it for right reasons. And while doing so, in the process, if you find someone, please commit. This is one of the biggest problems that I've seen with youth today, that you fear to commit to this person. Relationships are not easy. They will come with their own ups and downs, with their soaring highs and lows. The highs can be highs and the low can be lowest. So don't fear commitment, because commitment isn't a weakness, it's a sign of strength. It means that you value that person, you value that person's individuality. And I see this in today's generation, that they don't want to commit, and which is why a lot of people today, there's this trend called situationships out there. Want to be together without any labels. So be with someone for right reasons. Be in a relationship for right reasons. Which then takes me to our last point, last but not the least, of course. And I'm sure all of you must have heard this proverb. It's called jack of all trades, but master of none. Raise your hand if you've heard this proverb. All of us have heard, right? Oh, but did you know? It's not even a complete proverb. You know what complete proverb is? Jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than master of one, which also means that in any given situation you will be able to adapt better. While people in your life, in your 20s will tell you, okay, just focus on this one thing and build your career on this. But no, this is the time when you're supposed to explore, experiment, try different things. And you don't have to get stuck at one simple thing. Oh, this is what my parents have asked me to do. This is what my friends are doing. This is what I feel like doing. And a lot of times in the process, we get into this sunk cost fallacy. You know what sunk cost fallacy is? Sometimes we continue to be in this one field and we're like, okay, let me just continue because I've invested so much time and energy into it. Which also happens with a lot of entrepreneurs, with business people, right? Where they invest their money into this one business despite it incurring a lot of losses. They think, acha, ek din, I'm sure I'll gain profits. And in this entire process, you keep incurring losses time and again. Why? Because in your head, you're like, I've already given so much time to this whole venture. So don't think from that sunk cost fallacy method that, oh, I've already invested myself into this field. Though it doesn't have my heart, forget it. Let me just continue. There will come a time when you'll get mentally burnt out and exhausted when you wouldn't want to do it. And it's in that moment, you'll be like, I should have actually tried and tested other things also. So try, explore, experiment with different things. Of course, make timely decisions. It's extremely imperative. But don't let society tell you that this is this one decision you're supposed to make and this is the only decision you have to follow. No. Try, experiment. Because it's only in the chaos that you will find your passion. So learn to adapt this art of bounce back ability, that no matter where you are, even if your momentum has break, bounce back and get going. Because Viktor Frankl once said, you can take away everything from a man except one thing. The choice to choose one's attitude in any given situation. So it's your attitude. How do you look at situation? Embrace the uncertainty in, certainty in its uncertainty. Embrace what comes. Don't think my life has to be perfect. Embrace the imperfection and just get going. And as Joshua Marina once said, and I would like to end the talk with that, she once said that challenges in life is what makes life interesting. But overcoming those challenges is what makes life meaningful. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day, everyone.